everybody, in today's video we are going to be doing quite a few things. So we're going to be cleaning the kitchen, we will be making some granola and some homemade bread. I wanted to show y'all a French onion soup that we make. That's one of my favorite meals. And my mom had watched the kids that day, so I actually got into Evie's closet and started working in there. And then we also have some exciting news, so y'all stay tuned. So we just went and looked at a camper. It was an hour and a half away, but we really liked it. I had been looking for a couple weeks now, I guess, at least, every day at new listings, because we did want to get a used camper to be able to get one big enough for us to feel comfortable as possible living in it for a year or up to a year. So we found one that we really liked and we went and saw it, and I think it's the one.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think so. It's big. It's got a tall ceiling, unlike a lot of the campers that we looked at that were pretty short. And it also has a lot of what do they call those boards that extend down? Bump outs? I don't know. But anyways, it's
Slides. Yeah,
So,
it has 3 slides.
so it expands in 3 places, and that makes the main living and kitchen area very wide for a camper. And then the master bedroom's pretty wide, and the kids' room is bigger than most that we've seen, and it had a lot more storage than other ones that we've seen.
I can't remember if you just said this, but in the living room and kitchen area, it's really tall too.
Right.
Taller than any of the others that were in our price range that I had looked at online. And yeah, it's got a lot more storage than anything I had looked at online within our price range too. So we're really excited about it, and as soon as we get it, I'll show y'all what it looks like. And there's definitely things that we're going to want to do to it. It needs to be repainted, cleaned, of course. Any used camper need to be cleaned. So yeah, we're really excited. Sorry, it's a little bumpy. We're going over some parts of the road that I feel like are really old, but anyways, we're really excited. I would show y'all pictures of the camper, but the only pictures I have are the ones that were listed, and so they don't have great detail. And also the pictures that were listed obviously was, I believe, the camper before they had lived in it for at least a year. I think they lived in it a little over a year, and they had, I believe she said, 5 children. So the camper does need some care. It needs some painting and different little fix-ups, but overall it is way nicer than any of the others that I had looked into, and there was some custom build in it, and we are super excited. I cannot wait to show y'all. So hopefully in 2 or 3 weeks I will be able to show y'all the inside. I have already been Pinteresting and YouTubing and trying to figure out how I can most efficiently fit all that we will need in that camper while we live there during our house building. And today in here I am just getting the kitchen cleaned before I do all of my baking. I like to try to start out with a clean kitchen. So here, that's what I'm doing. sponsored by Skylight at all, but I wanted to show y'all how easy it is to add a recipe. This was a recipe that I have found online. I think it was off of Pinterest, and then I went from Pinterest to that person's blog and copied the link, and here's how easy it is. I had tried this bread recipe in the past and I loved it, so if I try it once, then I try to put it on my Skylight, so I'll just have it on there. So this is just me adding it to my Skylight. It is super easy. It's my favorite thing about the Skylight, honestly. And like I said, I'm not sponsored or anything, but if you're wondering, is it worth the price? I believe that it is, and I love my Skylight. And you'll see, I use it for all the recipes that I'm going to be showing you today. I didn't even think about this, but I told y'all I was making French onion soup, and actually this is a French bread, I believe it said. So that's kind of neat because I didn't even think about that being, they were both supposed to be French, but I wanted to use my Dutch oven, and this is the bread that I make when I use my Dutch oven. I had never used the flour that I got from Azure baking this recipe, but it turned out really good, and so I was really happy with it. This recipe is crazy simple. It is water, yeast, sugar, salt, and flour, and it is very, very simple. It doesn't even need to be kneaded that much at all. It's mostly just let it all come together. As you'll see, the dough is a little bit sticky, so it always makes me a little wary, but it turns out good every time. After I got the bread going, it has to sit for 2 hours, and so I wanted to go ahead and start my granola, but before I did that, I wanted to get my hot tea made. And it was a very rainy week, and this was specifically a very rainy day, and it was chilly inside, I felt like, so I had my sweater on. I wanted to make some hot tea before I got started on my granola. I was also cleaning as I went along, because once I get the kitchen cleaned that morning, I like to try to keep it clean throughout the day as I cook, so I have any dishes that I need available. This homemade granola is super easy, and I will try to put it down below. This is from Hannah's Happy Home, and I have tried this granola recipe, I believe 4 or 5 times now. It does make a really large batch, and so it lasts a long time in the jar that I have it in, but once it runs out, I just try to make more. It does take a lot of oatmeal, but I have a huge bag from Azure, so I've been good there. And then it also takes a lot of the coconut oil, but I bought that from Sam's, so I have a very large container of that too. And it is really, really easy, and it is so delicious. And sometimes we'll cut up bananas in it, drizzle some honey over it. You can put it in milk, so it's like a cereal. That's what Liam likes to do. It also has a lot of maple syrup. It does have a cup of maple syrup, but it has 8 cups of oats, so it's really probably not that much to the amount of oats and everything else in it. But I get my maple syrup from Sam's too usually. So super easy to do. You mix it all up in one bowl so you don't have a bunch of dirty dishes, and it is delicious. couldn't stop eating it while I was trying to get it in the container. But stay tuned, because in just a minute we are going to start working on Evie's room, and I will tell y'all a little bit more about the camper. I started in Evie's room by cleaning the little kitchen and reorganizing everything, and Evie was so happy with that. When she got home from my parents' house, she immediately started playing in there again and was having a lot of fun. Now that we have bought a camper, things are starting to get real, and even though this camper does have a lot of storage compared to 99% of the other campers that I looked at that were in our price range, it's still not nearly the amount of storage that even this house has, of course. And so I have been a little nervous about especially the kids' stuff. So if anybody has any kind of suggestions, please let me know, because I have been looking into it and I just need to be able to be as efficient as possible while we live in the camper and build our house. On one side, the camper does have an area that will be the kids' room, and I'm trying to decide if I want to do bunk beds or a trundle bed. If we did 2 separate beds, that would take way too much space, so we're gonna have to do one or the other, and I can't decide. Liam thinks a bunk bed sounds like fun, but I don't know if the bunk beds would be too tall for the area. I don't think they would, especially if we got the shorter kind. So if y'all have a suggestion on a bunk bed or a trundle bed, please let me know. Those bags were all bags that I can put in the yard sale. Some of the bags had clothes in it that I'll see if my sister-in-law wants first. And then that tiny grocery bag was the only trash that I had. So I was pretty happy with all that. After the bread has sat covered for 2 hours, you take it out, you put it on parchment paper that has some flour on it, and then you put the bowl over the parchment paper and you let it rest for another 30 minutes, and then you can bake it. While it is resting for that 30 minutes, you're supposed to have your Dutch oven with the lid on in the oven, preheated at 425, so it can be getting really hot before you put the bread in it to bake. So I had that already preheating, and I got that in the oven right away. Going to be able to use the Dutch oven in our camper because the oven in the camper is super tiny, but we are going to be parking on my papa's land, and he has 2 ovens in his house, so I'm pretty sure he'll let me borrow his oven every now and then for loaves of bread if I give him a slice. So I'm not too worried about it. The first half, while it's baking, it bakes with the lid on, and then for the last 10 minutes it bakes with the lid off, just so it can get a golden brown color on the bread, and it turned out really nice. I was really happy about it. I really hope that this looks good. I haven't ever made this bread with this flour. I thought about that. Oh, good. just getting the French onion soup started. I use the Dutch oven when we make that. Now, I have never fully made French onion soup. Jason usually makes it, and I have gotten it started for him before, like I'm doing now. He was still working, and it takes forever for the onions to, I think the word is be sauteed. When you saute the onion, it takes forever. So I wanted to go ahead and get that started, which I still wound up starting a little later than I should have. So we kind of had a later supper that night, but that was okay. It was still super delicious. And with the bread, this is literally in my top 5 favorite recipes, I would say. I had heated up a little bit of oil and I threw the onions in, and I panicked because they started, the oil was way too hot, and so I like quickly pushed it back with the wooden spoon because actually the Dutch oven was still hot from where I had baked the bread. So that's what went wrong there. And we also put chicken in our French onion soup. I know that's not normal, but Jason feels like he has to have a meat in his food for supper. And so, yeah, we always will just fry up some chicken in the frying pan with some salt and pepper, and then we shred it with this little shredder that I got online. It is the best thing ever. I think I only paid like $3 or $4 for it. And here Jason is just finishing this soup up, and he does a perfect job. We used all clean ingredients when we were making this. It was organic onions, and we try to eat clean as much as we possibly can. Still not perfect, but we're getting there. Also, our garden is loving the rain, and we have a pretty large zucchini, still not ready to be picked or anything, but it's really exciting to see it, and all of the rest of the stuff is doing so good too, so it's really exciting. Here he is just putting the onions and the chicken into the stock, and it is nearing the end, so we can enjoy this, and it is so good, and I just wish y'all could taste it. I do not know where he got the recipe. It was just somebody online, so I don't have the recipe, but I mean, you can just look at that, and I wish you could smell it through the screen. And he is fancy. We have the Swiss cheese, and then he uses the little propane to actually melt the cheese on top, and it does make a difference. It is delicious. Also, this soup is delicious reheated, and if you need to add any more beef stock or anything, you can, but when you reheat it, but usually we don't have to. But look at this. Oh man, it was, I know I keep saying this, it was amazing, but he does a really good job with it. I hope that y'all enjoyed today's video, and if you did, please give me a like and subscribe. And I will see y'all next week, hopefully with even more on our land and the camper and all the news. So I hope y'all have a good week, and I will see y'all later. Bye.